We're here with Mr. Christ. Mr. Christ, what's it like being a student athlete back in your day and now watching our student athletes thrive in their sport?
Well, it's a lot of the same. The facilities are better than what I had. I ran on a dirt track, but overall the sports are pretty much the same. Athletes have gotten better over the years. They have more training and more equipment and stuff. But it's interesting to see the kids today compared to when I competed. But I'd say there's a lot of similarities, except for the facilities, I think, are much improved. Well, the community has always been very, very supportive with time and money. We just passed a bond issue a year ago to help improve the facilities, and parents just amaze me with how much they're willing to donate to help fund different things and give the kids the opportunities that they have. So, I talk to people in other communities, and they're even amazed at the support that we get, not only time and money, but coming to the games and cheering us on. So it's an awesome experience.
Okay, well, I came back to Quinter because I loved Quinter and I wanted to give back to the community and back to the school system that I grew up in, and just be a positive role model for those kids, because I always had that growing up, and my family's always been in education, so it was fun to come back and teach, especially with my mom. It's kind of like a full circle moment. And then some of my teachers here that I co-teach with were teachers that taught me, so another full circle moment, which is sometimes what people don't always get to experience that. So I've really enjoyed it, especially teaching and coaching. Yeah, it's really awesome to come back, and I think if people get the opportunity to do it, they should do it.
We're here with Mr. Rush, and we're going to ask him some questions. So, what is it like teaching at Quinter?
Teaching at Quinter is a great experience. I've been here 27 years now and have enjoyed every minute of it. Kids are great. It's small town atmosphere. And it's my hometown, so I'd just like to give back to my hometown as well.
And so you grew up here and you played sports as a student athlete. How is it watching the now student athletes go to state in about every sport?
Well, I used to think that I was just as good as some of the student athletes, but that's not even the case now. Student athletes this day and age are really good. They are really good. They're faster and stronger, and all the stuff all the resources that they have to be that way. So there's no comparison. I think kids nowadays are way better than when I was going to school. Yeah.
Do you think the Quinter community helps the student athletes achieve in their sports?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got a small town atmosphere, like I said earlier. On Friday nights, when the football game is in town, the stands are full. It's just a great atmosphere. I don't know if there's any other that type of atmosphere. It's hard to get when you get to a 5 or a 6-day school.
I've been teaching here at Quinter High School for the past 20 years, and I chose Quinter High School out of all the schools that I applied and interviewed at because of the quality of students and people that live in this community. Quinter High School excels and has a high standard of education here. We expect our students to do well and to try and to give their all. So I wanted to teach at a school where the standard was high and that kids wanted to meet that standard. I also wanted to teach at a school where the class sizes were smaller, so I got to know the kids, have a relationship with the kids. I would be able to know if something happened the night before, that they lost a basketball game, or even was in a car accident, or something like that. So the next day I can be prepared to talk to them and help them work through those things. So I know them on a personal level, and get to see them grow from seventh and eighth grade all the way to their senior year and make a huge impact in their life. So as a teacher, that's what the ultimate goal is, was we want to make an impact in our students' lives. And so when you have a small community, you actually get to see that every day with our relationships with those students. Why my husband and I moved to Quinter was also the same kind of qualities, is because it is a small community. My kids could ride their bikes all over town, and I wouldn't have to worry about them. If they got in an accident on their bike, somebody would help them and take them home, and I wouldn't have to worry about dropping them off at the pool or the park and say, make sure you're home by the time the 6 o'clock whistle goes off. So it's very much a community that takes care of each other, and that will help each other, and be a large family. And as we try to help each other through life. Um, I also enjoy teaching my own personal children. A lot of parents don't get to see, especially their high school students, very often by the time they go to school all day and sports and jobs, where I get to see my children off and on for multiple hours throughout the day, and know personally what's going on in their lives because I'm a part of it. Because school is a huge part of their life, and their school life, their friends, their activities, their sports. Our family, whether it's my children personally or my husband and myself, or just even the family of the school, is always bound by the activities that happen around the school.
We're here with Ethan. Ethan, what's it like to be a student athlete at Quinter?
It's kind of difficult sometimes because you don't get to go home right after school. You gotta stay in practice for 2 hours, and then if you're in hard classes, then you got homework to do. But it's still a good thing because it kind of keeps you accountable in sports and in school because you gotta stay eligible, and they kind of go hand in hand. So.
How does the Quinter community help you thrive in your sports?
They're really supportive. The whole community is. Everyone comes out to watch the games. It's always pretty full in the stands, and everybody just likes to watch the games.
Quinter High School has been very supportive and great throughout my journey of becoming a Red Scholar. Specifically, my college and careers class with Monica Countryman has been a great asset to have along the way. She assists you in writing essays and learning about the process of getting into colleges, and that's just something that's really helpful because going into college can be scary and nerve-wracking, and having someone to guide you along the way is just very, very great to have, and that's something that Quinter High School is very fortunate to have for their seniors as they're going into college. For teachers and students in the school, going into my interview, I was very nervous and scared for questions they were going to ask and different things they were going to say, and everyone was just very supportive and helped encourage me that I could do it and that it was going to be good, and they helped me practice with different questions and things like that, and just the overwhelming support that came from everyone in the school going into that interview was awesome. After receiving the Red Scholarship, there were different social media posts about it, and the community gave their overwhelming support, saying congratulations and great job, and that was just very kind to know that your community is proud of you and thinks you're very deserving of that. It's just great to know that your community's behind you and that they're supporting you along the way in any journey that you could take.
All right, we're here with Mr. Countryman. What made you want to teach at Quinter High School?
I was joking with some guys earlier that I did it for the money. But no, that's not the case. There's a story that I tell everybody about when my wife and I moved out here from the east side of the state, is that we drove out to Waukene for the interview, or we drove out to Quinter for our interview. When I got to Waukene, I looked at my wife and said, we still have 20 miles left to go. There's no way we're going to move this far away from our families. And we got out here, drove through town, and every car that we came across, everybody waved at us. The town was really clean, and you could tell right away when you got here that this was a community that had a real sense of pride. We were treated very well, and we just knew at that time, before we even left that night, we knew this was a place that would be a good place to raise our kids.
So why Quinter? Like what did the community affect?
Well, the reason we chose Quinter was simply because my wife and I are both small town people. We both grew up in a small town. She grew up in the town of Baileyville, actually outside of Baileyville, St. Benedict actually. And I grew up in a town really small called Hartford. So we both had that small town experience, and that's what we wanted for our kids. And we were living in Emporia, which was a bigger town, but our kids we were driving to the small town. And we just all wanted to be together in one place, and we wanted a place where we could all contribute to, and that we were going to be proud to call our kids graduates from, and here we are in Quinter.